The TikTok ban is coming, looming, I guess. The ban, they said they're going to shut it ahead of time, the January 19th deadline, I guess. But it's like, I don't know what to think about this. I think to me, it's like, I don't know why this has had this of all the other things that's on the Congress's plate to look at. Why moving for the TikTok ban was so crucial that he had to work on it that faster. There's other things that the whole country can actually get behind and actually impacts on us. The TikTok ban, is voluntarily. They're so concerned. Their second thing is they say they're so concerned about Chinese or other sources of other countries get information from about Americans. They've already had everything. What crucial information we're going to give? We're not. I don't know anybody's giving out credit card information on TikTok. I don't. I use TikTok. I don't. So what the hell are they so concerned about? No, they don't like the transparency. They don't like the lights being shined. Well, I don't know.
As soon as you pick up the phone, you agree to all these terms of service that are unreadable if you tried to read them, and if you did, you wouldn't understand it with an attorney. You're stuck. Your information is being sold to China, by Facebook, by Google,
by our government,
by Apple, by everybody. And what I think it is the lobbyists and the big Google, Facebook, and probably even X are pissed off that the middleman's being cut out.
Yeah.
I think it's even past that. I think you kind of look at the politicians; they're a little bit pissed off because they don't get their cut. That's the whole. That's
if TikTok found a way to offer, hey, guess what? We'll siphon off some money there and send it their way. Oh, there's no problem here. No problem at all. We can allow you to, no, we don't have no concern.
All these politicians always bumping their chest about free speech.
Yeah.
Their free speech, but when it comes to our free speech, it's a whole different story.
Well, I'd like to nail down if somebody is in government and they wanted to answer this question, go ahead, type it in the chat or whatever.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But what crucial information are they going to get, the Chinese going to get from TikTok that is so crucial to the defense of the United States? They already have satellites in the air. They have people on the ground working.
And probably
politicians,
drones flying over us.
Yeah,
unexplained drones.
We're getting
weather balloons.
Let's face it, the surveillance state has gotten so bad, so intense. And there are times I think I should call them to see how I'm doing.
And Fang, they have Chinese girlfriends dating Fang, Mr. Fart Boy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Had I think he was even married when he did that. So the Congress should go after them like the PXX, right?
Right.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. That's good roll in that, man. I mean, the histrionics and the emotions about
it's moron. It showed how stupid some of these people are that supposedly lead us. Like that little I don't know what her name is from a little tiny lady from Hawaii. She sounded like she was drunk and slurring her speech when she was going after him about, UCMJ covers you 24 hours a day in this position. You can't drink. Telling him he can't drink.
Yeah.
He already said he wouldn't from the time he takes office till the end. Anyway.
But what I loved about it was on the Republican side, the guy, I want to start with an M senator.
Yeah.
And he said, tell me, and this got it straight. Tell me which one of you senators haven't gone on to the floor and made a vote drunk. That made me feel safe.
Say that you haven't come onto the floor late at night drunk. We all know who more or less say he knows who these people are, and they know who these people are that voted drunk. Should they be able to drunk vote?
No, they shouldn't. No, it's like, I think there's an interesting thing, I guess, in one of the ancient cultures, they used to discuss an idea of both sober and drunk. And then if it sounded good on both ends, but both who have matters of, inebriation or not inebriation, then they'd go for it. So maybe it's a good thing to have the arguments going on or something like.
You think they'd loosen up?
They'd loosen up a bit.
The Democrats would loosen up and be more like John Fetterman.
I wish I would, because honestly, I was watching it yesterday, watching Kane. Did you? I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but I wanted to watch two people so far to see who was getting. There's two people I wanted to watch in their hearings. It was Hegseth and it was Bondi, because I just love it.
It's like a total different world, the way how respectful they were with her and the questions. It was like more like teetotaling.
Well,
drinking. There was no bad. No.
Blumenthal tried to be bad.
Questions to her.
Blumenthal tried to be bad, and I thought that one thing she did was really great, because he's like, you need to do this, and you need to reject, and you need to say that Trump lost the 2020 election and the January 6th people. And she actually stopped halfway through when it got to her point, and she said, I don't need to say anything that you're telling me I need to say. I need to say the truth.
And the whole truth, thing was, and also what's constitutionally in her bounds to do. And
then again, we were talking about the Hawaiian lady, and she's like, and Bonnie brought up the fact.
But what I'm saying is,
She wouldn't even meet with her.
But it was crazy. It was like night and day. The
Yeah.
two of them. Actually, even Rubio's like best friends, like a hug fest with his, and also the Vogel for the FCC.
Right.
His was no different. It was like they were all about business for those three, but it did look like all they were all drunk. The Democrats were all drunk when they were coming in there and wanted to burn down the city
Right.
because of Hexet's going to be. Ooh, he's a womanizer. He's a bad man.
I thought it was funny because I didn't know was Kane was going for the guy that was the VP pick for Hillary Clinton. I don't know if he was running for Pope yesterday or if he was just getting a freaking hard on, wanting to talk about all these affairs and all the different things that.
Yeah, and then he even brings up his kids. He said, "Your 2-month-old daughter, not only 2 months, and you're already cheating with another woman." And that was the one. That was all the one that he was not. That was proven to be all false.
Okay,
but he's still bringing up something proven to be false. The reports went out before that they knew it was false, but they just used it anyways.
And then he still so he should have followed through and looked at see if there's any updates before he's made these
Oh,
allegations.
he probably did, but he didn't
He didn't
care.
care. He wanted his media moment.
This is okay. These are the Democrats who actually told us back in there. I don't know if he was around when Bill Clinton was around. That what a person does, the president does in his personal life doesn't matter, doesn't affect his ability to govern or whatever. Remember that. But now it's like when it's a Republican, they gotta if you did something bad in the 3rd grade, it's going to be brought out.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's serious.
Right, Charlie Brown, the football, always with the Republicans because they do it. I mean, we're older. I mean, seen a couple presidents and seen the difference between how you can get a trans person who says that a man who doesn't look like a woman says that she's a woman or he or whatever. I'm still confused about what's Rachel Levine. How that person went through with flying colors. There was no questions like this made of her.
because they wanted the Republicans to be nice and considerate.
I mean, the first thing is why are you wearing a dress?
It's like, okay, it's like, yeah, I'm just looking at this thing. I look at that person. I was like, what? This is a joke, right?
The person's mentally ill.
Yeah,
I mean, I can understand somebody like a Blair White. I understand that people have mental illness, and even Blair White even admits it, sort of that she had a mental illness.
Right.
But I say she because she looks like a she.
I guess it's like
hard to you know what I mean. You should be straight across the board with the two of them. It's sort of hard with someone like her.
I think it was RuPaul that somebody said about if it's a male dresses a female or female dresses a male or whatever. Because I think her response was, "What does ever looks as long as it looks stunning or whatever, as long as they carry it out well." But that thing that they had in that person they had as a Surgeon General.
Rachel Levine. No, she was like assistant deputy or something. She wasn't actually the person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, she was the head of the.
But anyways, but getting back to that, it's everything. When Democrats and Republicans come together and vote bipartisanly on something like TikTok,
right?
You know it's bad.
Yeah.
Anytime they come together and say, "Ooh, when they say come together and say it's good, it's bad."
Yeah, it's like basically I always said the most I've said this before. The most terrifying times in my life is when I heard people say we came together as a bipartisan thing. I was like, oh my god, if they're talking about bipartisanship, we're all screwed. Well, that's all it is.
They actually drilled Bonnie on that today about it, and she's like, "I'm going to follow the law."
But the thing is, I mean, we've got poisons in our food. We see the effects on like these dyes that they use on children's brains. Kids coming up, kids now are having kidney stones.
Oh my! See, I didn't know that one.
It's just crazy. I mean, they'll come together on something stupid like TikTok. Well, it's not stupid. It's all right. We should be able to have it if we want to. But they can't come together on poison in our foods.
Okay.
When you see everything around us, when you got childhood obesity's up, and like I said, kids coming up with kidney stones.
Okay, the Food and Drug Administration was set up to actually help to guarantee or ensure people's health in the United States was better guaranteed, right?
But everything that we know about the scams of government,
right?
I honestly think the Food and Drug Administration was set up to do away with the things that weren't profitable.
You know, you might be point, but I'm going to say
competition.
We always were told that that's the reason why they existed.
And but are they the same ones that endorsed the food pyramid?
Yeah,
And it's
they're the
like
same
what,
people.
75, 80% carbohydrates.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like yeah, and another thing is you got to look at the commercial interest in who funds these studies on drugs and stuff like that, or pharmaceutical companies.
I think the FDA should go away.
Well, if they're not doing the intended purpose, yeah. I mean,
Do you think they are?
no, I don't think so. I mean,
No.
okay, all those commercials you hear, if you or your loved ones are damaged by the use of this drug, then they give the whole list and death what. Please call our law office, so and so and such and such. Well, every one of those drugs they're talking about had met FDA approval before it was released to the public.
Right.
So,
You know,
I mean,
go ahead.
go on. What do you say?
I wouldn't doubt that some of these drug companies have an arm that goes after them. I mean, I think they make money on the front end and on the
Oh,
back end.
that's
That
probably
they sue
guaranteed.
themselves.
Yeah,
No, actually, that's probably the
yeah,
truth.
yeah. They put a bank of money in the pharmaceutical company, put a bunch of money in, have it sit there invested somewhere, brewing up a little bit. Then they have the settlement, and basically they walk away with the lion's share of it. That's a
They're
very
walking
possible
away with their own money.
their own money. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're hedging your own bet. I mean, it's insurance that you're
But it makes
financing.
it look good.
Yeah.
So it makes it look like I've got a purpose to be here. So let me sue this person because no one's ever going to know that I'm taking the money out of the
But
front door
bottom line,
and put it in the back door.
Congress is not doing their jobs. I mean, I would rather them not do their jobs at all and stay out of our lives. But they're not protecting children.
No. Oh God, no. I mean, it's like, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I don't understand. The thing I was going to go further about the FDA, they're supposed to be scientists behind it. And they've established that anything like these kind of chemicals or this class of chemicals
But
shouldn't be in foods. Well, now we're letting them in foods. Well, I'd like to know the commercial interest. I'd like to ask those people, why are you putting this in our foods for? Is it necessary to keep it for a longer shelf life, make it look more presentable? Well, we're ready to deal with stuff that's less cosmetically appealing. Why don't you just cut back, take that crap out? We'll just deal with the colors looking naturally.
and it's the commercials that sell the food anyway.
Right.
You don't know what the food looks like because they're making a commercial of it.
Right.
And always in a commercial, you find out that like on some of the foods and some of the things is plastic
Right.
and glue for the
Epoxy.
drippings of the juice off the hamburger and different things.
Well, like
They-
ice
they-
cream.
They don't even use the real
Well,
food.
what I'm saying
Right.
is the packaging and the advertisement sells the food anyway.
Right.
The kid's going to eat it because of the commercial he's seen.
Yeah,
Right.
just go back to offering little toys in, okay? And drop all the chemicals, just offer a stupid little toy, all right? That'll get a
I mean,
kid
how many
going.
times did you buy? You had to make your mom buy cereal just so you could get that stupid toy.
Okay. Well,
I didn't lie. That was my one thing.
they don't offer anything good nowadays.
No, because they think kids are stupid and they swallow stuff.
They- See, that's the thing is, us kids, we knew it enough to
But
go
back
through
but back in the day, if you did something like that, your mom would say how stupid you were and take you to the emergency room if you had to and get it taken out. Today, if somebody does something like that,
They sue you.
automatic lawsuit. And that's something else I think has to be uh, addressed is the litigation in this country.
the tort reform and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like the
it has to
limitations.
be.
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, let's face it. I mean, I wouldn't want to be damaged by a good or product or whatever, and I'd want compensation if I had, knowingly taken this thing or they didn't take the precautions. I'd like to see a settlement or to cover the cost and some additional money. But the extravagant
Okay.
cost, no.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is you order a coffee from McDonald's, the thing that blew up
Right.
the guy because he squeezed his leg.
Yeah.
Okay, what's McDonald's going to do about that? I mean, what were they
Well,
supposed to do?
yeah,
Say,
like
please let me
right.
put this in a tumbler for you.
But at the same time, your coffee shouldn't be scalding hot. I think there's
There should
a
be optimal.
reasonable. I think you should, as a reasonable person, I should be able to take a coffee in my
Right.
hand and take a sip out of it without having to.
But some
burn-
people
to
really
burn
like
my
it
throat.
hot.
Yes.
But it's if those some people want it hot, then go home and get your coffee.
Right.
No,
So,
I
I mean-
I think coffee purists will tell you there's an optimal level of serving for the the temperature.
But how average are those people?
Yeah,
They're
they're
like a
average.
small
Right.
percentage
The
of the
difference
population.
between the people that
The average
like they're
person
purists and the people
want-
who think they are is about
Right.
That's why.
But the average person like myself, if I go order coffee, I want to be able to drink it
Right.
right away. I don't want to have to wait 10 minutes and then be at work drinking my coffee.
Right.
Right.
I get your point there. I mean, but I think some people just common sense is not very common. I don't know why they call it common sense for. It's uncommon. I mean, if you can perceive reality and say you're in danger, I think that's a good thing. And anyway, but it's not common. It's because I don't know. I think a large portion because of misconceptions on television and movies. People are fed by
And
that.
then another thing that the Johnson, your buddy,
Here we go. Go
said
ahead.
that he said that the flag could be full staff
Half staff.
for the no full staff
staff.
on the inauguration day,
Right.
to promote, a new beginning and everything, and then after lower it. Do you think my idea behind it, if he would have left it lowered, that's the first thing that the media would have
Yeah.
started
Oh, yeah.
on is they would have got a tight shot of the half staff of the
Right.
flag, and then went to Trump.
Yeah, they say
And-
the country's in mourning. See, that's
well,
what
not only mourning, mourning of Trump and
Right,
mourning
right.
of Jimmy Carter. I think he waited, and I think he made the right decision by letting it be full staff.
Right.
I do too. I mean, it's like Jimmy Carter. Another thing is too, you got to look at the length of time Jimmy Carter's been out of office. I can see if he had just left the
Well,
office.
it's 30 days. It's what's
For each
written.
president's
Yeah.
30 days.
But I just
I
so
mean,
I basically
don't mind. I mean,
But the way that remember the first inauguration, their whole biggest thing is, oh, there wasn't 5 million people or 500,000 people or all this sort of stuff. They were trying to count it, and
and
Trump was saying there was a lot of people there. They were
I
trying to say,
just I
so
think
I think what you're saying, Steve, is true. That they would go in and go, see, look at the government, the country's going into mourning because of this. The legacy media today is trying to figure anything they can to be relevant, and they're not.
no, they're not. And
no, and even this proves it with these stupid theatrics with the at the
Hexa.
he needs to change his name.
You know.
But it just proves with their theatrics, they think by acting like that people are going to be agreeable to what they're saying.
Well, they made a
which
big
is not true.
One man made a deal about his his tattoo on his chest of the Jerusalem cross. Okay. And then they saying it's kind of a racist sort of thing like that. And then when they show the program for Jimmy Carter's funeral, on the program itself, the program they had at the church, the front page of it had the same cross.
It's on the cathedral where Jimmy Carter was laid.
Right.
Right. But what I'm saying is that they don't have that magic anymore.
No, it's like they always want to make they've done this before and they got away with it for years, making something like that, making it a major issue when now it's like, wait a minute. I seen this image here. How
you
can this be
remember
here?
the pubic hair on the can?
Oh, yeah.
Can of the soda.
Yeah.
That she's seen a pubic hair and what was her name?
Anita Hill, wasn't it?
Anita Hill, and she was proven wrong that
Yeah.
she lied, but still you have to suffer for they still bring it up.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's true.
It's like I said, the double standards. I mean, that was trying to confirmation with Clarence Thomas, wasn't
Right,
it? Yeah,
right.
Clarence Thomas. And
Remember Biden ran that thing.
Biden was the one that really gave him
Gave her credit.
talking to back then. But that's all they played, and that's all we had to watch because that's all there was.
yeah, and it's
That's the only news we got. But with TikTok, which they're trying to ban, that we talked about before, we know the truth, or we can find out the truth, or we can find out that it is true.
Right.
you think that Trump can maybe intervene and stop that ban
Yes.
from going through? You think
Yeah.
he will?
Yeah.
I think he will. I
I
hope
think
he
the
does.
Supreme Court's going to come back and give it a
I don't
stay
think
for
the
3
Supreme
months.
Court's going to do anything. I think it's going to change.
But I would like to ask
Hey,
this.
go
Maybe
ahead.
go for a little bit far off, but I mean, this ban actually does affect the First Amendment. Okay.
Well, you know who offered to buy it?
Oh yeah. Which one?
Musk.
Elon Musk.
Oh,
And so
he
did,
might be the best
Kevin
bet.
O'Leary.
Huh?
Kevin O'Leary and so did Elon Musk.
But Elon Musk, they're more agreeable
Right.
Yeah.
to. I mean, the Chinese are more agreeable to letting Elon Musk, which of course the media is all up in arms. Why would the Chinese be more agreeable to
Because they're
Elon?
saying that he has a
No, I'm
Tesla
not asking
factory.
you to answer it.
I
I'm
think you
saying
probably
what the media is saying.
It's
No, that's
simple.
what I'm saying. That's what the media says. Is all they got factories, and he's more
Right. No,
compliant with Chinese.
that's not the way the media's presenting it, like they're partners and they're best friends. Like he's part of the Red Army, and that's why they want to give it to Elon Musk, not because he's a great businessman or anything.
Well, besides maybe just simple fact that maybe Elon Musk put up a better offer. I mean, let's face it, he's got deeper pockets than the other guy. So, I mean, if I was selling a business and I'm going to be forced to, try to get rid of it or shut it down, I'd go for the highest bid to make,
Well,
cut my losses.
Here's another big loser for the big media is Alex Jones. Like they tried to cancel him.
Oh,
and
right.
tried to put him out of business and tried to buy, and they thought they were doing a great thing by buying the domain InfoWars.
Yeah.
They were going to do so much by. a domain doesn't mean crap.
No, it just
Alex Jones is the person.
right.
Right.
And InfoWars goes wherever Alex Jones goes.
Right. He is in for wars, and you can't buy him. And I mean,
But I guess there's a settlement now. They agreed to sell it
so
out of bankruptcy and be done with it. But the whole thing is they really thought they had Alex Jones.
see, that's the politician and both our lawyers. That's the way they do that stuff. They continuously do stuff that's going to make it so financially impossible for you to come back from that they basically you're done away with. Even if they haven't done everything, you haven't done anything illegal. They'll do this is basically like a slap lawsuit. Basically, that was the outcome
Right.
of a slap lawsuit. And
I mean, he had a trial without a jury.
right.
His first one, where that judge, I don't know, she's in one of the northeastern states that made that decision.
Yeah.
And
See,
then another nasty judge in Austin, Texas, went after him too.
yeah,
You know, this morning I was driving up, we're talking about the Alex Jones thing. I was driving down to Detroit and Caitlin was with me, my daughter, and we were listening to the Bondi
yeah.
thing, and there was a break. We just hit the off button, and I said, Kate, there's something in this life that the government will do everything they can. I said, if you walk down that street, they can say you did that wrong and get you arrested and try you for
But
stuff.
the first thing you have to admit to yourself is you're a friggin' slave.
You're a slave.
to everyone. You grow up in slavery.
And we're sold because we got the 4th of July and we can shoot off
But
fireworks.
what I'm talking about is financial slavery.
It's
You can't own this thing. You can't own anything
Why not?
in the United States. They
No.
tell you could pay taxes on something
Right.
that they let you have. But if you stop paying taxes, you don't have it anymore.
No.
No, it's like financial freedom is freedom. That can't be missed. That's
But
like
even
interlocked.
billionaires don't have the freedom.
No, they see they could, but they still
They
have
don't.
loyalty.
They still don't, because you have to
They
pay
don't.
to even quote unquote not pay
They
the
tried to-
taxes. You still have to pay all these different firms to be able to get this thing done. So you're still having to pay.
Yeah,
No one in the United States has financial freedom. You could be the richest person and you don't have financial freedom.
it's
You have a better, what's the word, where you're in a dream state like you do.
that's true. I mean, it's dawning on me that it's basically like, yeah. I mean, we got to look at
Look what they tried to do to Musk when he wanted to originally buy X.
Yeah,
They tried to cancel him and take everything away from them.
yeah. It's like, see, that's why do we allow these politicians, these people who we elect? Then it's also that the deeper swamp that goes beyond that, like Trump's talking about. The people have been there for generations. They run our lives. We can't question if we do. We're insurrectionists.
Then we got these nasty millionaires like Bill Gates that they let do what he wants. He
Soros.
goes to Africa, infects children with polio through
Bad vaccines.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And brags about it and kills people over there that don't want to take a stinking vaccine anymore. They don't even want them in their country. And then we also got George Soros going around screwing up economies in foreign countries, and even he's
here.
been doing it here too.
And he gets a financial. He gets an award for that.
But they worship these people.
I know. I mean, it's like, oh God, you can't. You're so stupid. You think they're doing something sinister? Yes, I do think they're doing. It's provable, in Bill Gates' case, certainly. I mean, Soros was given a Medal of Freedom.
Just like
And then Fauci's another one that's one of their heroes. And all the nasty things. And then already knowing all the nasty things he did with AIDS.
Right.
Yep.
Making people, what is that that drug that he was, not ivermectin. What was the name of the one that he was, remdesivir or
Remdesivir?
take a crack at it. Whatever that drug is, he
remember
was
that drug.
forcing people to take that.
Yeah,
and
he
he was
forces
killing them.
He forces, look at the vaccines.
Well,
He forces to do the vaccine.
But the reason he had to force them to take that because if there was another known alternative that was safe and effective, like ivermectin, then they couldn't force people to take his drug that he was making all the money on. And it was the same drug that he was forcing on AIDS patients.
So he's taking away his competition, so he can narrow it
Right.
down, so he can get bigger profits in his pocket.
Well, it
Yeah.
was the
His
same thing
position to do it.
that with the whole COVID thing that made me Operation whatever it was that Trump had.
But
Operation
Warp speed.
Warp Speed. That couldn't have been done if there was another safe, effective alternative to the drugs that they were trying to bring to
And,
market.
and so they just knocked down, just categorically, blank,
Call it
and said there's nothing
a
good.
horse medicine
Yeah.
or whatever, and then try to scare people away from it.
By the way, I know this is probably a far flung because I haven't talked to you guys about it before, but you ever heard of this Australian singer? She's a doctor in Australia, and she actually sings Maya or Hi Maya or something like that. She's got a song called Carmageddon. Have
Mm.
you heard it? Oh, you got. I'll send it to you. And it's basically she talks about the pandemic, and she's a doctor in Australia, which is a socialized medicine's country, right?
Right.
So she's saying it was basically watching people die from a vaccine that's bad and all this
Well,
stuff.
but don't you remember that group of doctors that came out with that? I don't know if she's from Africa or Jamaica. That was like the lead doctor that was
Right.
talking,
I remember
and
that.
how they went said don't. They were saying how bad the not the respirators and the to get people on their feet and get them walking around and to get them out of the hospital, and then how they tried to discredit all those people.
Yep. Because
And nurses losing jobs.
they want to get a people. What do they call it? The thing they were inserting in people, and actually it was killing more people
Well, the
than
respirator
the
did
respirator,
because
yeah.
the respirator was actually
Because
growing the stupid fungus in your body.
I hear my friends. I had friends in nursing. They left nursing since then, and they said that's killing people. That in itself is killing people. They're dealing with the thing, and now they put it.
Because what's happening is okay. The first thing I'm not saying the first thing, but you want to get people when they get ammonia or pneumonia. You want to get them on their feet and get them
Right.
moving around.
Right.
And get the in this for the respiratory, anything's respiratory. You don't want people laying in bed
No.
and making it worse. You want to get them up, but because COVID was treated totally different, you want to put them in a room and you want to make them stay in the bed.
So I can see getting rest, but but in an upright position, or at least nearly
What just
standing,
makes
or
you think a
whatever.
lot of this shit was done on purpose?
Well, yeah, it was. I mean,
It's scary.
Well-
They think that they would do that to other human beings.
and they don't because I'm just following orders. That's the thing is, you get people so fierce and so able to screw with people, and they're glowering over people. You got to do this as a mandate. You're going to face this if you don't. People submit to it. They have to. They
I
don't.
can
life's-
understand the mask mandate.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't understand the mask mandate.
Here's what I didn't.
No,
understand.
not being in. You don't understand, or you
No, I
do?
never understood it. I thought it was
Okay,
the
I
dumbest thing I've ever
misunderstood
seen
what you
because
said.
honestly, what I saw was here's the issue. Everyone's saying that the COVID comes from China, right?
Right.
And then now we're forcing everybody to use the masks that are made from China.
Right.
So can you
Well,
explain
not
that to
only
me?
that, if you just picked up a box and said that it's only good for one use
Right.
with the patient, I mean, the way that I worked in medical, and the way that we did is if I went to a person and I was exposing myself to whatever
Right.
they had, I gowned it up, wore a mask, went in there with gloves and everything, did what I had to do, and then threw it in a trash, and then took it all off and threw it in a trash can.
Right.
You don't want to wear a nasty old mask around where they were making us wear it for a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, I mean, people say, "Well, doctors wear masks during surgery." I said, "Yeah, that's a few hours." And a couple
Actually,
times I see them.
No,
I've
they
seen them to
take-
change
they
out.
change them throughout.
Yeah.
They not only do that, now they have the mask that they put on. It's
Like,
actually air with air, fresh
Yeah.
air,
Right.
and vented in behind them.
See, so I mean, guess
So,
what? Those are
Surgery is a
ineffective.
whole lot different than Marcus Welby that we seen as a kid.
But it was funny because you'd watch all these people that were so like I had a friend of mine. I lost a friendship over this. I didn't understand why, but I did because one of my friends was like, "Oh my god, if you do not wear this mask," and how these people and they placed this all out. I remember when this person was driving around drunk all the time, being wasted all the time, And I'm thinking, so I wrote back to her on Facebook. I'm like, how many times do I remember you driving around when you're totally wasted and you didn't say a damn thing, and you get pissed off if someone said that to you about driving drunk? But now you're pissed off because people were walking around without a mask.
So
and
she's
thinking they're
probably wearing a mask, which made it
Which-
okay.
Yeah.
But while she's drunk. No.
I'm like-
Yeah.
I love the
drunk,
people that actually cut the hole in the mask
Yeah.
and put their cigarettes out there like this. I'm like, oh, that
Oh,
was
another time too, I've seen cops go on these off videos and also around the neighborhood. They walk around, the nose is sticking out, which is part of the intake system for your respiratory system. So
if I went somewhere where I had to wear a mask, I turned around and walked away. I couldn't do it. I'm claustrophobic. I hate freaking.
oh, yeah, I do too.
Well, what do you think about? Okay, that California or Los Angeles is supposed to host the Super Bowl,
And the
the
Olympics.
World Cup, and the Olympics
Yeah.
in the next, I think, 3 years. Do you think that I know it's going to be bad, but think about it, anything that Trump does from day one is they're going to jump on no
Right.
matter what.
Right.
I think all those things should be taken away from them
Well,
until because why should I as a taxpayer not only have to pay, and I know my tax part that I'm going to pay are minuscule, but
right,
those seem big to me.
right.
But why should we have to pay to not only rebuild Los Angeles, but then also pay to have stadiums built to house these events? And another thing, why do we still do the Olympics? It's
It's pointless.
silly.
Oh, I don't even know if anybody's watching them. I mean, when I was a kid and the Olympics were going on, people were talking about them. You know, in the school stores and schools.
Right.
No, I'm not in schools anymore, but I'm around stores. I don't hear anybody mention the damn things. I don't.
No, wouldn't it be better just to have our own national games?
I mean, I think so. I mean, more intense and then.
I think it would give me more pride, and they could make more money if any promoters are listening. They could type in right there and let us know that they're listening.
Right.
They can make more money off national games because they could sit not only cities but states against each other.
And that'd be a lot
They
more
could
fun
sell
watching.
more. There's more that they could sell, and they could do it every year if they wanted to. They wouldn't have to wait every 4 years for the stupid Olympics where a bunch of foreign nationals get rich. And they don't pay for anything when they come into. They tell you how you have to build everything up.
You know, another thing is I've always heard, and I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I always actually heard the whole city of those whole things. They lose money.
Get hosed.
They get hosed. They lose a lot of money. And let's face it. I mean, I don't see where anything that's going to be state built there.
There's no national pride. I don't see anybody go woohoo the Olympics.
No,
nobody.
I mean, back in the 70s, yeah, that was going
80s.
on. 80s, early 80s.
But you were allowed to have national pride.
Yeah,
but we're not anymore.
That's a good point. I mean,
we're going to California again.
Right.
Why are we going to California?
No, and another thing, your buddy Mike Johnson agreed to give California money with strings attached and how the money is going to be handled.
Mike's doing good.
And they're saying that he's a bad man for doing that.
Well,
that it's going to hurt people because he's saying how this money should be.
There's 49 other states, and guess what? Just give carte blanche approval to anything you hand over to somebody else, and in their use of it, I mean, is ridiculous. I mean,
and my other argument is they play it like the whole state of California is on fire anytime you watch TV, and it's one city. Yeah, granted, it's one of the larger cities or larger cities there, but you got a whole, not almost half a state in North Carolina that was affected by that hurricane, but they don't get half, not even a quarter of the attention that these fires.
Well, it's not as important because our friends in Israel are facing people who are actually trying to kill them.
They only got like $750 checks, or they're not even their grants, or not grants. They have to pay them back.
Yeah, okay, but all the people
North Carolina.
Yeah, all the people of the rest of the planet we rebuild,
but yeah, we're supposed to foot 100% of the bill.
Yeah,
in California and feel like it's unity and national pride in rebuilding. Screw California.
North Carolina was part of the United States before California was, folks. Guess what? I know they're not as glamorous, but they're just as good. They're better people than the ones in California, more likely. So, I'm serious.
Oh, I'm just waiting. I'm just watching you guys have the conversation.
I mean, I'm serious. I'm just pissed off California gets the limelight and everybody.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even the fire. I mean, they're still going. And Biden's already saying, don't worry, folks. 100% of this will be taken care of by the American people.
Right. Yeah.
He already said that.
Right.
I mean, what do you think they're Gilligan?
Oh, wait. I'm in this conversation.
Yeah.
The last 10 minutes, I didn't know if I was even here.
Sorry about that, man. But
I think here's the deal. If you don't put stipulations on Gavin Newsom, you're going to waste the money. He's wasted everything that's ever came to him. He sits here and blames everybody else. I don't see why you blame anybody but your own staff and the mayor and everybody else like this. This is what Johnson said. I agree with what Johnson did. I believe that the Congress should do this. If you really want to be responsible with our money, you should be able to say this is what the money's for. This is to help the different people. Because if you don't go from the federal to the person and you go into this, it's going to go into some Democratic fund, and it's going to be doing that. And that's why the Democrats right now on the Hill are sitting there going, "Oh my God, why are you doing this?" And the reason why they're saying that, anyone that votes against this to have their in their spot, you better explain to me.
I don't think it's a vote because Biden already said it's going to happen.
Well, he can say, yeah, but he also
he already said it's going to happen. It's done deal.
Well, I think that,
but the way the money's dispensed is going to go through Congress, and like I said, Mike is going to go there and he's going to say how the money's going. I'd say he needs to go as far. It needs to go directly to the people,
Right.
and just not even go to the government.
It's-
And any money that goes to the government, it should be an IOU and not free money.
That's a good plan.
The other
right there.
day we were talking about, and you remember you and I were talking about people rebuilding and all this.
Yeah.
You said that Gavin's cut a lot of that. He can cut all day long, but it's the local ordinances that are actually going to be the biggest problem going forward right now. It's going to be the local ordinances saying you can't do this in the permits.
It's more that's government. So
Right.
anything government.
I understand something during this fire that is it true or is this a joke that there are like firefighting crews coming in from other states. They were stopped and they didn't pass the emissions test on there, and they were refused entry into the city.
They had to go to Sacramento.
That actually did happen.
Yeah, and then now when they leave, they have to go back through Sacramento and pay another fee.
Look at number 6, John, and tell me what you think of that.
Jack Smith accidentally reveals the truth about January 6th. No insurrection. Oh yeah, it's like, and so what the hell is this whole bit about?
In his report that there was no insurrection.
I mean, so you finally came on board to seeing all the video footage that I looked at showed it was like a guided tour. I mean, some guys are getting over enthusiastic or whatever, but so what? I don't understand the left. Their groups, the people they champion, can burn down whole cities, terrorize people. That's mostly peaceful.
But
They weren't involved.
That's Trump wasn't involved in
Right.
it. There's no insurrection for Trump. He wasn't involved in it.
Well, it wasn't Trump. I think that's a good point. The other side is like, guess what? They were not within 50 yards or 50 feet of it.
Right.
That's the problem. They don't want their butts in any of the co-op. So if it comes to them that they're anywhere around and then their security or their safety or anything like that, their lunch hours and all that have been affected,
Right. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
You got to remember, this is the high class. The class of the politicians that are slave masters to everything we do.
See, and that's what it's dawning on people too.
But getting back to what we're talking about, he's saying that Trump wasn't involved in an insurrection. I mean, in his report, it stated that.
So you spent millions of dollars and pillared people and destroyed people's lives and careers for nothing. Absolutely not. I mean,
they wanted to go after Trump.
Yeah, that's
right.
But so you keep on making stupid.
They lost. They lost. How many times have they lost over the last 4 years?
The thing is,
they lost with Biden.
Right.
They lost with Kamala Harris. They lost with the January 6th bull crap. They lost trying to kill him a couple times.
And let's face it, it definitely has to. I mean, the Secret Service had to be ridiculously stupid to think that we don't think they're that ridiculously stupid.
There hasn't been no report about the first assassination.
We don't know any more about him than they know more about the person who pulled the trigger and that insurance CEO than we do. I mean, they went as far as to go tours that guy's house and everything and interview his mom and and his friends and family, but nobody went after that kid
or the family or
on the roof.
Yeah. You know what? Talking about that guy that was shot to the CEO. There was a clip on TikTok showed exactly what happened on Jimmy Kimmel's show. One of the guests and him, Jimmy Kimmel and him, were both saying or laughing about the fact of free this kid that shot the CEO, and that he should be free. This was a guy named
I don't understand that.
Adam Burr, I think his name is, a comedian or something. And Jimmy Kimmel's like laughing with them, and all they're all jumping up.
Did you watch Jimmy Kimmel?
No, I didn't watch Jimmy Kimmel. It came up on
I don't
TikTok.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to anything when it's failing. Anything of that, I just go to the next one. I don't even watch it, even if it's somebody I like that's been being interviewed by one of them. I just go right by it. I
can't stand it.
Watching it.
Yeah.
So, well, guess what?
What's that?
Sandy Hook. What you talked about that? I think we've gone through the Gaza.
Well, what about Trump announces the Gaza hostages and the ceasefire deal before the election, like he said, is going to happen?
It is a Reaganistic moment.
That's exactly what I was going to go with that. It was like to me, it's like reflecting back on when I was seeing Jimmy Carter leaving office, and just as soon as he was about to be sworn in, Reagan was being about to swear in as president. Those people were on their way to Germany. From Iran. So
to me, this is what leadership looks like.
Yeah.
When Trump says, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to come in there and rain hell on you if you don't get this done," instead of saying, "Don't." What the hell is don't mean?
He didn't even say don't. There was no don't, no nothing. But I think it's a good step, and he's pretty far ahead with Ukraine already. They're already
In
they're talking
negotiations.
there too.
Guess what? Basically, this
But
thing.
the only reason they're not as far ahead as they could be is because Biden kept on doing dumb shit like giving them money and
$25 billion
giving them
more.
more
That's what I was going
arms.
to say. Is
He was undermining Trump all the way.
the best way to say it is like, guess what? You Zelensky, no more money. Okay, you can do what you want. You can continue the war out, but you're not getting money for funding from us.
Yesterday I was watching that. I was watching the thing with Hegseth, right? And the questions kept coming at him. You know what? I didn't know those guys on the Democratic side. I don't know if those guys were more, if they were from Ukraine trying to ask questions, or are they from America asking for questions? Because it's like, are you going to break the word of our country? And how are we going to walk away from these guys without winning the war for them? And I'm sitting there thinking
It's
the
not
whole
up
time
to him for one thing. He carries out the orders
of the
of
president.
the president. He doesn't make decisions like that. He's told what to do, and he can make the decisions on how to do it.
Right.
I mean, that some of the questions they were asking him were completely stupid. But even with all this crap going on, small businesses optimism surged to a 6-year high.
Yeah, I
I mean,
definitely.
how is that possible? If Trump is such a bad president, why are small businesses
Because people are getting excited.
They're getting.
wanting to do things?
I think people are getting pumped up. I think that, I mean, I definitely see that. I mean, we might even see some change here in this area. I mean, coming up, and I've heard about rumblings of it, and I like to see more small business startup because that's the businesses that we all have come in contact with daily. And I'd like to feel locally economy instead of shipping everything through the big box stores, and it goes, God knows where that profits go for that.
And I put this one down here just for you. Trump calls Fetterman impressive. How about that?
Impressive.
You read it. Number
Trump
16.
calls him Fetterman impressive after Mar-a-Lago meeting. Yeah, I mean he is impressive. I mean, I did mention that during in Mr. Moss's show that he just did today. What's going on?
But you
with
wouldn't
Moss.
think that after what the View
Okay.
went after him.
Yeah.
I mean that's your favorite show. I'm
Right.
sure you've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen it a few times.
No, what they were saying about John Fetterman.
Oh no, I didn't see
That
what
he's
they.
in cahoots with
Cahoots.
Trump, of course.
Coach. Yeah,
He's one of Trump's lapdogs.
here's a left for me. Here's a left. Here's left for me. Every time they got their bad guys or good guys, and every time they're all gathered together and they hold up the sign, boo, then hiss, then boo, yay. I mean that's what it is. They got to have the same reaction out of everybody.
Fetterman, when Fetterman first came in, he was the golden boy for the Democrat Party. All the way until he said, "Hey, you know what? If you are actually rooting against the president,
Right.
you're rooting against America. I'm going to root for the president." After that, it has been the views been after him all late night. It's like they had this whole. That's why legacy media to them has to keep going. That's why they want to ban TikTok.
Right. That's why they want to ban it. And
Because
they pretty much got it done.
TikTok will put
What's
guys
next?
like us on it, and they can't control us, right? They can't control Joe Rogan. They can't control all the different. Joe Rogan gets more views than anything in the
But the thing, when it comes down to it, they let Joe Rogan get views.
Because if they really wanted to, they could.
Do you think that? Because I don't think they did.
Yes, if they really want to do it, they could find a way of shutting down the service provider for where he's going through to put his feed up live. They can do that. I mean, I'm not suggesting that.
But what would happen is they make him a martyr like they did Alex Jones and just make him even bigger than he is.
Right.
So the thing is,
but I don't think
know that.
The hard part is that I think they did, but I don't think they did.
Did what?
I don't think they let him. Because honestly, when Spotify,
they are letting him. They could shut down.
They could shut him down.
They
could shut
wanted
everything
to,
down.
just like they shut down
Yep,
TikTok. They could find a reason.
I don't think it's find a reason for anything. I agree with you in that fact. But I do think that they did try a little bit. They did try a little bit to try to shut him down because they actually all
yeah, they did when he came out with ivermectin. Remember, they went as far as making him look jaundiced and sick in his video where they had a side by side comparison for CNN. The original video footage and the footage that they used, they had him like looking green, like he was sick. When he was talking about how he was sick, and he used ivermectin and some other things to get better. He got what was the microbiome, something the transfusion, or not transfusion, but they were getting an IV of a mixture of.
Different
can't
drugs.
help me to know.
I'm just drawing. I can't remember the drugs.
I can't remember the drugs. It's been 4 years.
But anyways, whatever. They came out against him and tried to ruin him, which
they did.
Backfired. No, they didn't. They didn't ruin him.
No, they didn't ruin him, but they tried. They tried their
But,
oldest
I
game.
think, and I agree, Steve. I think that they would, if they agree, the powers would be where you want it, they could shut us down. Basically, they can destroy the utility companies to pull the plug in everybody's electrical system, so nobody has a way to get out.
That part I agree with.
And they will do that eventually.
Well, look what they did to people in North Carolina. They don't even let them rebuild.
Yeah. No,
They can't build. They got to build houses to a certain spec, even though their houses were never
at that spec.
Right. And the government just come through, like I said. They made that area now a flood zone, decreed by decree. You can no longer build here unless you build it like this. You should be, if you have a house that's destroyed by, I'm not going to say free, well, it's semi-free.
Right.
I mean, our lifetime, I don't think it's been hit.
I've never heard North Carolina hitting about it.
It was like the perfect storm that's happening in California.
Right.
And the people, you shouldn't penalize them for this. And government,
they hate us.
And the thing about it, I just can't believe it's other human beings behind this.
Well, I do, because they're so out of touch. They don't consider. They think of different classes. Yeah, we're bipedal. We are carbon-based life forms, but they're much better. And it's like you should be thankful that they're willing even to deal with us on any degree, because they're so much better than us.
Well, it comes from poli-sci classes. You know that, right?
What do you say?
It comes from poli-science classes, political science classes. And when they get in there, when a person goes in there, then they want to go in this whole different thing. It's all the people try and change it. If you watch The West Wing back in the 1990s,
right,
or whenever that was around, I think it's 1997 or something like that to 2000. But when you watch them, if you watch it, it's exactly what they think of American people.
Right.
How stupid everybody is.
Yeah, they're so much better educated. They were always. I mean, I remember Martin Sheen's character. He's talking about gun ban. He was the president on that, and he goes, "I already allow them to have these kind of weapons. The rest of them, I got to be removed." Like, he had a right to remove the Second Amendment. Right. I mean, now, I know this is a fictitious character playing a president of the United States. I understand that. But the way he worded that, I see them as a security threat. I see them. So what if you see them? You're just one person. As a president. I mean, I was like so mind blown when I heard that. Just the sheer arrogance of the wording they put in that guy's mouth.
Comes from being in a bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, we're guilty of that sometimes. You think that one thing is so important that you got to get it done, and not at all costs, but you got to get that thing done, and then it fails, and the world still
goes on,
and you figured out it wasn't that important in the first place.
Yeah, but if you're going to choose your hill to die on, be very, very selective, because you're only going to die once, or you should. You're not like an immortal. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just.
What do you think about Trump creating an external revenue service to go after foreign entities in? Not only foreign entities, but global corporations and individuals not paying their fair share to the United States?
I think that's better than going after our own people and capitalizing them.
I think it is too. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to tax, you might as well tax some foreign guy. Don't tax me.
Well,
is that wrong?
No, it's not, because honestly, you can bring your product into our country. Well, why can't we? Why can't we tax you?
Because of what they're going to say to you, the politicians and the lobbyists. If he does that, it's going to make stuff go up in price. Well, if it gets too high, people won't buy it anymore.
Or they'll actually start making it here.
Oh, look what they did here. I mean, Whitmer signed that thing about some kind of, they had to have a revision and how chickens are raised so they can produce.
And now we don't have eggs.
No, we don't have eggs.
And the eggs.
Milk's out.
Yeah. I don't know about the milk.
Milk
nothing
is going. No, there's nothing wrong running milk, but now if you go to the store.
But it's not the same. We're talking about the eggs making it free range.
$7-8.
Now eggs are like $5 a carton, back to where they were during COVID, because of the scarcity of the eggs.
Just dumb. Oh, I can't stand her. I mean, we listen to this one group. They give us a paper, and now we got to pass a law on it. And you got to live with it.
And there's rules around it, just like the Jews have rules for Shabbat.
Yeah.
It says it has to be can't be caged, but it doesn't say how long it has to be out of the cage.
Right.
So I mean, it's just more legislation, more paperwork, more. That's all these people are good at, and we keep on putting
just
them in
like
office.
raising. Oh, I'm going to do a good thing and raising minimum wage for the wait staff,
and $15,
and also give a better deal for seasonal workers and part-time staff to make sure that. It's just stupid. It's just to put I'm sure it's just to put competition out of business, and then we only have corporations
Corporations,
that we can go
mom and
to.
pop
Who
place
pays
can't.
these guys in the back pocket?
And then the corporations can decide how much we're going to pay for everything in the state of Michigan.
So I mean, every time
And
they pass a law like that, if we have to pay for, and we're supposed to just blithely go on and not say anything because they got us best interests at heart. It's bullshit.
they
It isn't.
don't have it.
No.
They
Just
have
because you
their
say
own.
it doesn't mean you
I
have
mean,
it.
look at the solar thing. You would think after what happened, the outrage over Gaylord, Michigan, with the where 400 acres that they wanted
Right.
to use for solar panels, that they would just say rethink their whole thing. No, she's still going after 32,000. Is it 32,000 acres that in total
Yeah.
that they
Right.
want to go after? They just had a meeting last night. I seen a Monty show for I forget how many acres it was. I don't know if it came out a yes or no, but they're still going forward with this, even though there's an outrage in the state of Michigan of people that want. I mean, the land was given to the DNR for a reason,
Right.
to be a resource or a place to go hunt and have sports, snowmobiling, ice fishing.
Not for
It's a nice area to go to, and these people, well, they gave it to us. We can do what we want with it. We're government.
Yeah.
and we know better.
And then we don't. I mean, they don't want to listen to us. I'm sick
but
of
if it was
that.
oil coming in and they wanted to drill, they would be, the state of Michigan would be going crazy.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
can't have oil companies drilling on our land.
No, but we can put solar panels
I-
out there.
okay, I see where oil wells gone. I know there's probably residual runoff or something from the initial, going through process and all that. But every time I see that thing going down like this, when it was going by fields up north, I said, God, I wish I was sitting in my property.
But do you remember as a kid? You already said it going up north. How many they were on both sides of the highway sometimes
Right.
going up.
Right.
Now you go up that same stretch, they're not there anymore.
No, and I don't think it's because they've been exhausted. I don't.
No.
I don't think they've been depleted at
No.
all. I mean, they just want to drive up the cost. So you got everything people do it. Like I said, if we found a free source of energy, somebody come up with it. Some governmental agency be created, and they're going to be listening to the like the utility company saying you can't do that because reason why, because we're not getting a cut each month from when you pay your bill. We're not getting a cut.
But I mean, I like Ted Nugent, but not. I can only stand to listen to him so much.
Right.
But when he talks about resources and animal and management and different things, he makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So you don't have deer running across the highway and different things killing people. That we need more people like him, or at least his mindset. Not totally, because like I said, he's over the top for me as far as being
Right.
a right winger. But as far as conserving our resources, we
He's
need
good
more
at it.
people like him.
Well, I know. I remember when I was in college, people always told me they didn't like hunting because you're killing animals. And I said, you know that the guys that have this Ducks Unlimited company, it was like a club. They actually paid dues and they also paid towards government fees and stuff. Like they actually kept the waterfowl, going
Right.
as a species and stuff more than all the governmental agencies did by themselves with their simple actions. I mean, that's if people have a commercial interest in something, are going to be an interest in maintain that and keeping it going. Animal. I mean, how many cows you've heard about?
Well, I
going
mean, you
extinct?
brought it up last show about replanting of trees.
Right.
I forget what company you
Weyerhaeuser, yeah.
It's planting more trees than the government would ever think of planting.
Right, like you could have 1,000,000 Earth days where everybody planted 1 or 2 trees, all the attendants, and you'd still wouldn't come close to what Weyerhaeuser's planted in the name of commercial interest.
Mhm.
So I mean, see, there are times where I don't like corporations, but there are times I think that those trees are renewable.
I mean, even you do things for the community with your company.
and you're a small company, yeah.
But you still try to help.
Yeah, you always try to give back.
Yeah, it's like
But they think
The reason why is here's the okay. My thought is if you guys are curious because that 10 minute spiel, okay, I just watch so. Anyways, if you really want my spiel on it, it's this way: they're going to force you into communism one way or the other, and this is why everything goes into it because communism makes you a slave to the states, slave to the government. You have to pay back. So the reason why they want to put more regulations on you, the more taxes they want to put on you, the more they want to break your back. They want to push communism. Why? Because then that class, which is the upper class, which is the ruling class, can actually run everybody. And people are stupid enough to say, oh my God, this is how democracy is supposed to live. That's not democracy, that's communism. Just because you want to sit there and say, I want to do this, okay, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about how great other countries are? Go to your other country.
right.
But you don't want to go to your other countries. How many people sit here and say how bad America is to everybody from 1800 and slavery, right?
Right.
Everybody wears the different things. They go on and run around that and talk about Africa. Tell me how many of those guys actually went to Africa, lived in Africa.
Right.
Okay, tell me about the guys that want to talk about homosexuality and they could go to other countries. Guess what? Tell me if you go to the Middle East and you can walk around like you want to be and you do stuff like you want to do and be as blowing as you want to be.
Right.
You're going to be hung up or on the street or your head's going to be chopped off or something like that.
Or thrown off
You
a
want to
building.
steal things? They're going to take you over to the Middle East and guess what? They chop off your hands or something like that because that still happens.
Right.
So guess what?
It's not only the Middle East. It's other countries.
Other
with
countries.
common-
I know.
a
I'm
lot
just
of countries with common sense.
I'm using them. So tell me when everybody wants, all these women sort of go, oh my God, you're against, women. Like yesterday I was watching it where Pete Hegseth said something one day about women shouldn't be in combat. Now these 4 women were sitting there screaming about it. But here's the thing. Do you really, how many other countries do you actually have? And I'm going to probably get people to say, but you don't have that many countries that draft women and we don't either. But how many other countries actually put women on the front line?
Yeah, I don't
Our
know.
country, we're not perfect. But you know what? You tell me what country out
Well,
there
we're
is
not at
perfect.
that point where women should be on the front line, in my opinion. Women have no business, and I don't care who gets mad at me being in combat.
No, they don't.
Another thing is too. I just look at it this way. I don't want to reinstitute the draft because you give more bodies to them, they're going to find more wars to put you in. Okay, and they don't give a damn. The thing is, women used to be considered sacrosanct. In combat, in battles between factions, they were considered sacrosanct. You didn't touch children, you didn't touch your women. Now you're fighting so you can kill off another part of your population. Does that make any damn sense to you guys? It doesn't to me.
No,
You should be defending all lives.
But here's the thing: going and put a woman in combat. Here's the thing: Steve and I, right?
Right.
You put us, we go in the middle of war, we get shot. What woman is 5'4"?
I say you dumb. You better put a dressing on that.
Well, another thing is too what I heard.
Yeah, that's basically. Like, I mean, honestly, how many women are going to pick some guy out and carry him out of battle?
230-pound guy or something like that. Over 6 foot.
It depends on what mission dictates. Sometimes you just do the best you can and just roll them on their side and leave them there. Hopefully, somebody else will end up medevac them later. You don't drag people around in combat.
I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, you have a better shot if you got different people trying to get you wounded out of the middle of the aim zones than you have some lady who can drag you across.
Right.
I'm sorry. The other side is,
hey lady, I've been shot.
Hey lady. But the thing is this is a stupidity that we have that comes across these different things. And it comes across the upper class and the political class that thinks they know everything. So the whole thing I listened to when you guys are going back and forth today talking, the only thing that comes to my mind is, guess what? If you read all this stuff we talk about and everything like that, it goes in one spot. You have the political mind who can't ask a stupid question right? Who thinks they're better than everybody and they look down on everybody, but they have no common sense. You ask me where common sense is, I'll tell you where there's no common sense. It starts off from the government. You want to talk about stupidity when it comes to Christianity? I'll tell you where that starts from. We got more pastors right now that are sitting there trying to kiss people's rear ends and try to tell people the real truth about things. You want to talk about where we're at? I'll tell you, you get your community back. How you get your community back? It's not waiting for every 4 years to vote someone else, because that doesn't work. And Steve actually put the best part forward. Actually, every single time we talk about it, Steve says it. I think it's a smarter move. And it's is that basically it used to be that you could actually say, hey, you know what? We don't like this person pulling their ass back. And the other side is we don't need we don't need the old fashioned, this is how it's always ran. Everybody needs to respect us. No, you got to earn people's respect.
Right.
In business, here's what it is. You make a bad decision in marketing, you lose it. You make a bad decision in business and you write your check and you could actually lose the company and people start shutting. But you have to have the effect of everything that goes into it. You in life, it's the same thing. In politics, oh, hello, we just print more money and we run through it and we just tell people what they want to hear. I'm just done. I mean, I'm tired of it. That's just kind of my viewpoint today because after meetings I had today, that's where I'm at. Is that the common sense it ain't going to exist because until we put common sense in the freaking thing.
Instill them by force. Kick it into them.
I mean, honestly, think about it. So why wouldn't we send money to California and say, here's here's the condition? Because honestly, look at everything else that we send money. We send money to what did you say, Ukraine, $25 billion? Tell me where one penny of that money's gone to.
Right.
But you're right. You get Lindsey Graham who sits there and goes, oh my God, they're going to be dead. And you have all these number of people. Who are you getting paid for?
Are you making up for the time that me and John talked?
Yep.
Yeah, you haven't answered the question. The whole thing.
I'm sorry.
The whole diatribe that we could actually.
That was my rant for that. I'm sorry. It's my rant. Right. No, I apologize. But no, that's just kind of where if you want to know, what do you think? Am I wrong?
I don't even know what you said.
I understand. I understand what you said. I think common sense is not common. And I think that's, and I think we should ask questions. And I don't think respect can be assumed. That's what I can walk the walkaways I got from that. Yeah. And I don't really have a problem with it. So you want
I'm
to
not
play
sure.
the music or?
Yeah, I think the
Sorry for my
the
diatribe.
vacuum's being
Sucked.
sucked out of the